Okay, children. So the next topic is cultural transmission. In this, I have just explained the things that as human beings, we have certain tendencies or certain unique features which are not present in other species, right? What are they? That we always tend to take benefit from our past experiences and we always apply it to our future behavior. We also tend to observe other behavior also, other person's behavior also, and try to learn many things. And whenever we have to fulfill certain biological or certain psychological drives or needs, we always usually go for acquired skills. Acquired skills means the things which we learn, the things which we acquire, the things we observe, right? So we tend to fulfill our needs by using those acquired skills. And as human beings, we have very much developed culture. Lots of societies are there, diverse culture is there, but there is a common thing that there is an education system, and this education system signifies what? That human behavior or human beings always tend to learn something new. So there is a proper organized system of teaching and learning. And as human beings, we always try to learn new things. And this is a unique property or feature of human behavior, which is not present in other species. So this is cultural transmission, and there are certain processes which takes place or which helps in this cultural transmission. So let us start with the very first one, which is known as enculturation. The word is starting from letter E. Enculturation simply means the things which we are learning in our daily life, right? It is a very direct learning. This is not an indirect learning, and a lot of agents are not present in between. This is a very direct learning which we observe in our daily life, in our society, at our home, at our school, wherever, in any surrounding. But what is the important thing? That this type of learning is not deliberate. Deliberate means that we are not planning anything. We are not having any intention, but it happens automatically. It is not a well planned thing that today I have to learn this thing, right? See, deliberate learning means that I have made a plan. Suppose I want to learn how to play a guitar. So for that, I have to go to certain classes to attend and to learn how to play the guitar. So this is a deliberate learning from my side. At, at home, if I'm just observing my family members and somehow I'm observing my mom, how she is preparing the food, right? So from not any intention, just I'm standing in the kitchen or I used to talk to her, I observed the things, and in that process I learned many things, right? And I don't have any intention to learn, but I just observed that how this cooking process goes on. This happens with all of you also, right? Nowadays only girls are never forced to learn how to cook. Even boys are also always encouraged, right? So the time is changing and many boys have a great interest in cooking. Yes or no, right? So if you are standing in kitchen or if you have an interest, so you see many things, and without any intention you learn many things. For the, like whenever some emergency is there, or if your mother is not at home and you have to prepare a meal, then somehow you will able to manage, right? Somehow you will able to cook, although you haven't took any lesson from anyone, but yes, you have observed the things, and in that observation your mind has quickly picked up some things, that how this process goes on. So this is known as enculturation. So what are the key features, what are the characteristics of this enculturation? That it is a direct but not deliberate kind of learning. Now, what is another feature? That it is usually happen with the available things in our socio-cultural context. The things which are easily available in our surroundings, in our society, in our environment. Only those things we used to learn. So it is, we can say that depends upon the availability of the things in our socio-cultural context. Another feature is that enculturation is a learning by observation. We observe something and we learn something without any deliberate, without any pre-planning, without any intention. We just learn it. Many examples have been given. Suppose if I ask what is the difference between a vegetable and a weed, right? What is the difference between a vegetable and wheat? So all of you will going to answer correctly that ma'am, vegetable is a thing that we can cook, we can eat, but wheat is a waste, which is not of any relevance. It is used for animals, they can eat it, right? So there is a difference between vegetable and wheat. There is a difference between cereal and vegetables. So all these things, how we have learned just by observing in our surroundings. So the things we observe, we usually see these things that these are the perishable commodities, these are the non-perishable commodities, right? This is non-vegetarian food, this is vegetarian food. So the classification, categories, the differences, how do we learn this? Nobody has taught us with their intention. We generally see them, our family members are performing, our elders doing all these things, or anyone, not only elders, our young ones, our younger sibling is doing something. So we just observe many things because these are available, first of all, right, in our socio-cultural context. Second thing, we are observing them, so we are learning. There is not a deliberate kind of learning. They have given the example of cooking. Just now I just made you explain that this is a process we usually see, and many things we try to grasp unconsciously, you can say. And whenever there all of a sudden some need arises, you will be able to manage the thing. You're able to cook something and you can fill up your stomach, right? So this is a thing which is very normal in Indian society. Like in earlier days, girls, most of the girls in Indian society just learn cooking by observing their mothers. The basic things they are not, need to be taught. They just see their mothers or any elder one in their family, and they just learn this, right? You can give the example of cooking. Now, what is the different? What is the other thing? That the effects of enculturation are obvious. People are generally not aware of these effects. They are also generally not aware of what is not available in the society to be learned. See, this is a very interesting thing, as enculturation process is only possible with the things which are readily available in your surroundings. And the things which are not available, or the things which you are not happen to see them in your surroundings, you're not able to learn them, right? So enculturation is the kind of learning which is direct but not deliberate, and by just observing them you can learn it, and it is readily available in your surroundings or in your socio-cultural context. And while explaining all these points, just quote down any example of your own side, or it is given in the book, you can write them also. So this is about the enculturation process. Let us now also start with another process, socialization. The second process is socialization. We all are familiar with this word. Socialization is what? It is a process by which individuals acquire knowledge, skills, and dispositions which enable them to participate as effective members of groups and society. Now, what is this? This process is very much different from said it is a direct but not deliberate. But in socialization, what is happening? It is a kind of learning in which individuals acquire knowledge. So whenever we acquire something, we always have an intention. We always deliberately try to learn those things. So in socialization, three things are happening: that we are acquiring knowledge. Knowledge means the information, right? The facts. Then we are also acquiring skills. Skills could be of variety, of varied nature. A lot of skills are there. Social skills are there. Academic skills are there. Playing skills are there, right? So a lot of skills we are acquiring. And dispositions. Disposition means a tendency, you can say, or a personal character. That how do you tend to behave to the things generally happen. So this is your tendency or this is your personal character, which enable you to participate as effective members of groups or society, right? So the difference between enculturation and socialization is clear, I think, right? Now, what are the other features of socialization? That this is a process which continues over the entire lifespan. We keep on learning something or the other at different point, at different ages, at different stages of our life, right? And it is the process which continues over the entire lifespan. It is not a process which stops somewhere. We keep on learning. We encounter with some new thing. We like that thing, so we try to learn it, right? What is the another feature? Socialization forms the basis of social and cultural transmission from one generation to the next. So these processes, enculturation, socialization, these are the basis of what? The social and cultural transmission. We just now talked about the cultural transmission. So how we are transmitting our culture, our values, our ideas from one generation to another by these processes only, right? Now, the concept of socialization suggests that all human beings are capable of a far greater repertoire of behaviors than they ever exhibit. Now, what does this mean? See, as human beings, I just told you that we have a very developed brain. We have a very wide learning capacity, right? So we are capable of learning a lot. Our brain is so much developed that you can learn many things at a time. You can do many kind of skills. But what is happening? First of all, we do not have an awareness about ourselves. We do not know about our strength. We do not also don't know about our weaknesses. So there is a lack of self-awareness. As human beings, you are able to perform lot of activities, but then also you are just restricted to certain things, right? Some people are very satisfied in doing a particular kind of job for their whole life, right? For the same job, for the same timings, the same nature of work. But many people are there which always switch from one job to another or from one skill to another, and apart from doing their daily activities, they always tend to learn new things, whether it is related to their hobby, whether it is somehow benefiting their nature of job, whether it's related to any other skill. So as a human being, we all are capable of performing quite a lot activities, but what we do generally, that we only restricted to certain things which are sufficient for our earning the livelihood. We do not take pain, we do not put certain efforts which can make us exceptional, but we just do all the same activities that took less efforts and time. The most clear example is our linguistic behavior. To just take an example to understand this point, whenever we take example of linguistic behavior, see, we all are capable of learning many languages. We are not only restricted to Hindi or English or any local language which you used to speak at home. But apart from these 2-3 languages, we are capable of learning lot of languages, but we never make an effort, right? We can speak any language that exists in the world, but we learn to speak only that language which people around us speak. The people around us, who all are those people? The family members, your siblings, your friends, your teachers, or any socialization agent available in your surroundings. So we never put up efforts to learn any other language because we think that these languages are self-sufficient, right? These are sufficient. Now why to put extra efforts, why to waste extra time, right? So this is a kind of tendency which we generally have. Within this social context, we also learn many other things. What are they? How to express your emotions and when to suppress them. See, to express yourself emotionally, and sometimes there are situations in which you have to suppress your emotions. Are you getting the thing? See, this is a very general thing which I just want to discuss. Whenever we express ourselves, what does it mean? If you are feeling angry at any point, right? So, is it acceptable to express that anger at that time, or it is sensible to hold that anger, to make yourself calm for that moment, and later on you can discuss the problem. Sometimes this happens. So suppression and expression both are very sensitive things, and which we learn by observing others, right? At home, if you observe your parents, if your parents are very short tempered, so what happens generally? Children learn to observe those things. They also become, or they also behave in the same manner. And when they go outside their house, just take the example of school, they also express their anger in the same manner with their friends or with their teachers. But as a social being, as a social person, we have to learn the things that, see, there are certain situations in which we cannot express the emotions freely. We have to suppress them. And at some situations, there is no need to suppress your emotions. There is a need to express them openly, to discuss them, to communicate them effectively to the concerned person. So emotional expression and suppression are also important example of socialization. Fine. Yes, ma'am, we can stop with the recording. Pushpa, ma'am, we can stop with the recording.